Good evening and welcome to a match of the day with a difference. One game from the second division and one from the fourth. And believe me, there's no lack of excitement as all four teams go flat out for 90 minutes. First, challenging for promotion from Division 2, Grimsby Town and Manchester City.
And Wilkinson in good space.
And competing fiercely for a place in the third division, Blackpool and York City.
Stewart. Good turn and shot.
Tonight's headlines: Manchester United chairman Martin Edwards finally admits that a takeover bid at Old Trafford is possible. 16-year-old schoolboy Jason Dazelle scores on his first division debut for Ipswich. And Paolo Rossi is Italy's golden boy again. We bring you his hat-trick as the world champions thrash Mexico 5-0.
Later there's the result of the Goal of the Month competition, but we start the action at Blundell Park, where Grimsby's unbeaten home record has taken them into 5th place in the second division. Just 2 points behind Manchester City, one of the favourites for promotion to Division 1. A road that one Grimsby player has travelled a few times before, as commentator Alan Parry explains.
An unfamiliar setting for the match of the day cameras, but we start with a very familiar face. Grimsby centre-half Chris Nicholl, who came here in the summer, is looking to extend a remarkable record with each of his 4 previous clubs, Halifax, Luton, Aston Villa and Southampton. Nicholl has won promotion in his very first season. Well, Nicholl is also assistant manager of a Grimsby side, standing 5th in the table, unbeaten in the league for 3 months and undefeated all season here at Blundell Park. They feel their strongest side today, leading scorer Kevin Drinkle having recovered from a foot injury. There was a late injury problem for Manchester City, but goalkeeper Alex Williams has overcome a back strain, and he lines up in a City side that's looking for its first away win in 1984. Well, these are ideal conditions for finding lugworms on the Humber Beach, just 100 yards away from the stand, but hardly ideal for football, though groundsman Frank Bridge and his men have done such a fine job. I think they might even have been able to make the beach playable. Referee George Courtney had some good news yesterday. He'll be refereeing at this summer's European Championships. As Grimsby and the black and white stripes kick off, you can see that conditions are going to play a vital part in today's game. The centre of the pitch will cut up very heavily. Vital week ahead for Grimsby Town's first division ambitions. Manchester City today and then Newcastle away next Saturday, and that really will give an indication of their value for a promotion place. The clearance by Andy May, turned forward by McNabb. Good covering by Bond, and from the initial clearance he made, May seemed to collect a knock and is still down injured in the penalty area. Nicholl making life very difficult there for Kinsey. Tolmy chasing here. Crowd a little angry that Crombie conceded the throw, but obviously didn't get a shout from his goalkeeper. Tommy. Timothy coming up from the back. When it wasn't a bad effort, and it's in! What a superb goal! Just 4 minutes gone, and the visitors shake Grimsby Town, the worst possible start. The ball hooked over his own shoulder into the back of the net, and Parlane gives Manchester City an early lead. So, a test of Grimsby's character now. Manchester City supporters, 3,000 or more have travelled here for this game. Delighted with their team's opening, but how can Grimsby respond? Ford's header on. Bond underneath it. And aimless effort really by Drinkle, but it stays in play. Kicked there by Empson. Ford. And coming, just finding the ball, sticking in the mud. Now turning it on. Harley. The player in support. Tolmy's in the centre. cross blocked. Forward for Grimsby. This is Empson. It was much too high, but the mistake by McCarthy. And Williams will follow that all the way. Waters really over-ambitious from that distance. And McCarthy's mistake presenting the opportunity, but Waters could have surely carried the ball further. And you can just see how filthy it is in the centre circle. Nicol missing his clearance completely, but Parlane playing the ball back into his own half. And Nicol making rather heavy weather of it, but in the end triumphed. Bond. It really is horrible in the centre of the field. Players making mistakes because of the conditions. This is Drinkle. What a brave headed clearance by Bond. Drinkle running on to that loose ball on the right. It was a dangerous cross into the near post, and how well Kevin Bond did to get it away. Well, cleared everyone. Crombie. Little Baker getting up. In the end, it was May who cleared. Now, Tolmie. A lot of men forward here, City. Even fullback Lomax. McNabb doing well. Now this is Lomax. Not a bad cross either. And in the end, Parlane, shoving defenders out of the way, concedes the free kick. Beating McCarthy, but May got it away. Bonnyman winning it back. Now Waters. May in first again. This is Cumming. Baker. Oh, how well he did, and was surely brought down by Cumming. Nicol up well, but here's Power. Good ball too, and Kinsey once again right across the face of the Grimsby goal, without City being able to make anything of it. But Tolmie keeps it in well. McNabb. Waters reading his intentions well. Kinsey seems to be everywhere. And a lovely feint, and the shot wasn't bad either. Well, Steve Kinsey reminding you almost of Peter Barnes at his best with that light touch on the ball. He twisted away from the defender, got a dangerous shot into the foot of the post. On by Drinkle, but into no man's land as far as Grimsby were concerned. Good ball, McCarthy to Tolmie. Baker. Coming intercepted, but Power making it difficult for him and for Nicol. Forward under pressure from May. Did well, but intercepted by Bond. Nicol clear, it breaks for McNabb though, who took Bonnyman the wrong way. Can Power reach it first? He can, but the referee has disallowed the goal. And George Courtney, even before the ball had rolled into the back of the net then, waved his hands and said, no goal. But McNabb working so hard to make that opening. Power went in, but the whistle had already gone as the ball hit the net. McCarthy up superbly again. Cumming. Oh, what a bad ball, though. Straight to Tolmie. Baker working hard to get into a good position. McNabb coming onto the loose ball. Just took it a little too far forward, but gets it back. Tolmie. McNabb with plenty of room, but then hit his cross too deep. Ooh, and a sign of a lack of confidence, and it's gone in, no! And the referee waves play on. Well, Power slid in for what looked like a lost cause, and it looked mighty close to having crossed the line. Well, a buzz all around the ground because a lot of people felt that that ball had crossed the line, but referee George Courtney felt that it hadn't. And City quick to get on with it again. We've had almost 2 minutes of stoppage time as Kinsey turns it forward. Can Tolmie reach it? He can. Parlane coming in to meet it, but Nicol did well. But City seemed to be that much quicker to everything. McNabb in. It was Nicol's header. Now then, Ford opting to get it as well clear as he could. McCarthy's header. Waters. Grimsby can't get going at all. Nicol across and fouled Kinsey. With the free kick, but there won't be time to take it, and Paul Power, who has the ball, appropriately the man involved in 2 of the talking points of the half. He had 1 goal disallowed, presumably for offside. He doesn't bother to discuss it with George Courtney, and had what may have been, in the eyes of many people, a goal also ruled out because the referee said the ball didn't cross the line. But Manchester City, thanks to the goal that was scored by Derek Parlane, good value for their 1-goal lead, indeed deserving more than that against a disappointing Grimsby. Well, Grimsby might be better known as a port than a seaside resort, but they have their own nice little touches around here, and inevitably they include the name of the football club. So Manchester City, 3rd in the table at the start of play, 4 points behind Chelsea and Sheffield Wednesday. Start the second half with a goal lead, and Grimsby surely will play better in this second half. Feeling nothing like a team in 5th place. Nicol finding Ford, on for Drinkle. Wilkinson is up with him, but Bond intercepted. This is coming. McNabb missing his kick completely. Drinkle laying it on for Bonnyman, and the shot just took a deflection for a corner. The danger starting when McNabb completely missed his kick. Drinkle laid it back. Bonnyman shot caught a City player. Williams getting up well, and off the line again, and it came to Williams. Well, he must be the most surprised man in that crowded goal mouth. He came off his line well to get the ball away initially, then City cleared it off their own goal line, and the ball ended up back in Williams' hands. A dramatic start that could have been to the second half. Nicol for Grimsby. Wilkinson. Ford on the right. And coming, disappointingly, slicing his long ball out of play. Waters for Grimsby. Crombie. McCarthy's clearance. Tolmie helping it on to Baker. And going for the return. And Kinsey's ahead of him. And did well. Good interception by Moore. Tolmie running onto the loose ball. Seeing Kinsey's run forward. As he tried the cross-come shot, Moore deflected it for a corner. Bond's header, McCarthy, and it was very close, and again a deflection took it just that vital matter of inches away from goal. Bombed up well, the ball not clear, McCarthy got it back in, deflected for a corner. Oh, it's a strange one, and Ford got it away. May first to it. On the left. Cleared by Moore. And again, City that much quicker. It's a Grimsby throw, though. Takes over. Ford in support. Williams save, and it's in! Wilkinson! And that will give Grimsby hope. 6 minutes into the second half, and Grimsby have equalised. The ball pulled back, and Williams, when he thought he'd made a save, saw the ball drop perfectly for Wilkinson to rub it straight back into the net. His 10th goal of the season. Grimsby won, Manchester City won. So Grimsby, with their first really threatening attack of the game, find themselves level. What difference will that make to their confidence? Empson. And here's Wilkinson again. Bonnyman. Wilkinson in space once more, but well read by May. Kinsey chasing for City. Couldn't keep it in. Paul Wilkinson, who scored with his first ever kick in league football when he came on as a sub last season against Charlton, with a vital goal today. And again, Drinkle making it difficult for the central defenders. And Wilkinson in good space. Tried the shot across the face of the goalkeeper, but Williams snaked out a hand to save it. Drinkle setting up that opportunity with a superb flick, and then took the ball away, crossed for Wilkinson. Williams made the save. Billy McNeil knows his team aren't having it all their own way now. This is Baker. Tomey. Waters tackle. Two little men battling away. Now Empson. Always a buzz of expectancy when he gets it. Oh, well, Williams surely misjudged that. Empson taking on the defender, down the line, hit the ball over accurately. Williams didn't seem to know where it was going, was grateful to see it go wide. But stamina will play a key role now, a clogging, tiring pitch. Easy for a tired player to make a mistake at this stage. Baker doesn't look too tired. Too far ahead for Parlane. Cumming did well. And now Empson on the counter-attack. Crombie. Wilkinson the player in the box, McCarthy won it though. Lomax concedes the throw. Well, tired legs tend to make mistakes. As we move into the final few minutes of this game, it will be on everyone's thoughts, I'm sure. 5 minutes to go. Grimsby have a corner. And again, and a good save by Williams. And the shot in the end poked wide. And Moore was unlucky, but it was a great save by Williams initially. He really did well, because he must have seen that coming late through that crowd of players. Made the save, and when the ball broke to Moore, he hit it wide. And by Parlane, but Nicol there. Now making it hard for Ford. McCarthy's header to Bonnyman. Yeah, made it hard, but it reaches Empson. Bonnyman again. Grimsby's throw, and at this late stage in the game, Cumming, who's got an injury, goes off to be replaced by the experienced former Sheffield United and Blackburn man, Mick Spate. In towards Wilkinson, and still danger here for City. Now Williams right behind the ball. Parlane on for Power, and Kinsey kept his head well, and it was mighty close. Parlane helping it forward to Power, good through ball. Kinsey went the most direct route, but perhaps hit his shot a trifle early, and wide it went. And with less than a minute to go, I wonder if we've seen the final scoring opportunity. Baker. This is McNabb. Kinsey. McNabb again. A little feint. Very clever ball, although Tolman took his eye off it. Did well in the end. Bonnyman pushed aside by Power. Grimsby's free kick. Ford couldn't reach it. Here's May, and that's a City throw. And that's the final whistle. Very much a game of two halves, really. Manchester City lost the first half. Might have even had 3 goals. Got one through Derek Parlane. But Grimsby more direct in the second half and seemed to lose a slight inferiority complex. Really came at Manchester City and made it much harder for them. Wilkinson's equaliser gives them a valuable point, and the second division promotion race will continue to be tight for some time to come.
So it will, but it was interesting to see how both teams, perhaps City particularly, were able to produce such good football despite the conditions, proving once again that difficult surfaces can be overcome. Well, I had the feeling at half-time that Grimsby might just get back in the game, partly because they wouldn't give up and partly because Paul Power and City must have felt their superiority deserved a 3-0 lead at least. But I think the officials had it absolutely right. They didn't have the advantage of different camera angles and replays, but still correctly judged Paul Power level and offside when Neil McNabb prodded the subtlest little pass into his path. And were right again when Power, anticipating Fall's pass back, nipped in a fraction before backs. Remember, if the keeper had even a finger on the ball, it would have been dangerous play. And then Crombie got there in the nick of time, and to be a goal, remember, the whole of the ball would have had to have been over the whole of the goal line. Well, who says television persecutes referees? And even if they do make the odd mistake, the whole world can see what a difficult task it is to be right when inches are involved. That's about the tightest one we've ever had, I would think. Well, now to our promotion battle from Division 4 between the runaway leaders York City and Blackpool, one of the chasing clubs, but enjoying home advantage. Commentator John Watson.
In the shadow of Blackpool's most famous landmark, Bloomfield Road, a ground of many memories, among them a sweet one for York City, who in 1955 beat Matthews and company here in their heyday and went on to reach the FA Cup semi-final. Well, the modern York have a goal-scoring double act of John Byrne, whose 17th goal of the season beat Chesterfield on Tuesday, and Keith Walwyn, who has 16 so far, and like Byrne, scored twice against Blackpool in a 4-0 win at York in October. York also have 2 former Blackpool players, number 4 Ricky Sprazier and number 11 Brian Pollard, and they've won their last 5 away games in the league. Blackpool include 2 England youth internationals, number 6 Colin Greenall and number 9 Paul Stewart. Ian Britton at number 7 is the former Chelsea player, and making his debut at number 3 for Blackpool is Mike Walsh, signed this week from Manchester City. The referee this afternoon is Peter Tildesley from Stockport. What an incentive here for Blackpool in the Tangerine strip, playing from right to left. They're the home side today, in 5th position in the table, but York City, the leaders, have won 8 and drawn 1 of their last 9 league games. York are in blue. Walwyn was the target there. Forward by Crosby. And there was Senior going in low. Stewart challenged him, play on to the referee. This is forward for York. Byrne, Britton in there for Blackpool, number 7. It's his tackle, McNiven. Windridge joining in. And the York goalkeeper is the veteran Roger Jones, 37, and also the team captain. This is McNiven. And it's his ball in for Walsh, away by Sprazier. Back again to McNiven from Rodaway. And now Byrne. He's up against Hetsky here. And Ford, the man running on. Greenall, the defender, only as far as Senior. And it's going to come to Pollard with a chance for York. Appeals for handball. The referee waved them away. Britton, offside, Stewart. Half chance there for Brian Pollard against his old club. Up goes Walwyn, good jump, Ford. Walwyn, back to Crosby. So the throw to be taken by Hay for York, looking for Byrne. Defender is Windridge. And he got himself down the line, but then gave it away. Pollard. Byrne. Mercer for Blackpool. Stewart, number 9. Forward run by Ian Britton in the centre. Senior was the defender who pushed Stewart over. Blackpool will push Hetsky and Greenall forward for the free kick. And that was Hetsky up and a chance. Is he offside on the far side? He's done it, a goal! Keith Mercer coming in. The former Watford player, Keith Mercer, always dangerous in those positions. They looked for an offside, did York, from the first flick on by Hetsky. But when Mercer got the ball, he drove it low past Roger Jones to put Blackpool into the lead and to confirm his position as their top scorer. That's his 11th of the season. 13 minutes gone, unlucky for York. A real Watford connection there. Mercer was a player under Graham Taylor with Sam Ellis, the present Blackpool manager. And forward goes Stewart for Blackpool. Jones coming out. Well, Blackpool worked hard on their set plays. They were training on the pitch this morning, and Mercer, hovering on that far side, took his chance well. Sprazier, Senior. Hetsky for Blackpool. Well, that was not ideal for Ian Britton, to say the least. And it's given Pollard the chance to break for York. Went inside nicely, did Pollard. Here comes Malcolm Crosby, who topped his shot completely. Hasn't scored this season, former Aldershot player. That was nicely set up for him by Brian Pollard, actually. He rolled it back very invitingly, but Crosby missed his kick. 20 minutes gone. Blackpool 1, York City 0. Britton. And Windridge, the player running, Hay, the defender. Windridge has the ball. And he's found McNiven, and it was back to Stewart. And Britton is forward! Oh, what a fine goal! Ian Britton has put Blackpool 2 up, and it was beautifully worked. It came from the throw, and the combination, Stewart knocked it on first off, but when Britton finished that, possibly the smallest player on the field, the header beat Jones to his right. Ian Britton salutes the fans. 21 minutes gone. Blackpool 2, York City 0, and the 4th Division leaders are struggling. To the delight of the Bloomfield Road crowd. Test now of York's calibre, to say the least. Crosby, who could have made it 1-1 2 minutes earlier, but it's 2-0, and here comes Windridge. Well, little Ian Britton, a good player when he was at Chelsea, went to Dundee United for a spell, came here recently and is beginning to make his mark. Hood just isn't running for York at all at the moment. Stewart having a lot of influence there for Blackpool in the build-up. Played an important part in that second goal, did Paul Stewart. This is Hay. Battling by Walsh, then Rodaway for Blackpool. That's a fine ball by Rodaway to Mercer. Good, swift attacking football from the home side, and the fans responding to it. Rodaway, number 4, played a fine pass through, and Mercer, on a high at the moment, was prepared to try a shot early. That was Hood. Senior. Be a free kick. Walsh penalised for a foul on Ford. Senior takes the kick, looks for Byrne. Appeals for handball, but only by the crowd. Senior playing it in early, looking for Walwyn. Hood was there. Pollard is there for York, and out from underneath the crossbar almost. Steve Hetzke, what a great clearance with his goalkeeper nowhere. Pollard's attempt from Hood's pass beat the goalkeeper, but Hetzke made a dramatic clearance. Corner to York. And sprays you with the flick, and Walwyn trying to force it home. You'll just see Dennis Smith wearing the hat in the front row of the director's box there. On by Mercer. Windridge came inside. Good effort, it was blocked, and a good thing for York it was. Well struck on the turn by David Windridge. They don't need to be asked twice to shoot, Blackpool. Time in this 4th Division promotion match. Blackpool have a 2-0 lead. Ian Britton's flick header provided the second, following a goal by Keith Mercer after a free kick. 13 minutes and 21 minutes, the times of the goals, and Blackpool, with a good advantage with the wind behind them in that first half, have made good to the tune of 2-0 against the leaders. York City have not lost a league match by a 2-goal margin this season up to now. And in the second half, as they attack the left-hand end, They might reflect that the Blackpool goals came from a free kick and a throw-in. Having one possession in the York half, they made the most of their set plays. And Roger Jones, the veteran York keeper, self-critical fellow that he is, might look back on the first goal and wonder if he could have covered the near post. Stewart. Well played by Paul Stewart. Good skill. And a good cross. And it's sliced away by Pollard. Stewart. Good turn and shot. In one movement, he turned and hit that well. Walwyn offside again. Britton looks left, nobody there. Here's Stewart. And Pollard up to clear, only as far as Moore! Oh, what a fine goal! It's David Moore's first for Blackpool! And how well struck! Stewart worked hard on the left. The cross, only Pollard could reach it for York. His clearance went to David Moore, and that one gave Roger Jones no chance. 62 minutes gone, it's Blackpool 3, York 0. York could be on for their biggest beating of the season, and Blackpool could be on for sweet revenge after their 4-0 defeat at York in October. David Moore, the perfect strike. Very blustery conditions here at Bloomfield Road. Well played by Byrne there, but I'm afraid his finishing today has not lived up to his own considerable reputation. Hasn't had many chances, but when he's had them, hasn't quite been on song. Crowd have been shivering a little bit, hunching their shoulders, but a good performance by Blackpool. And not very easy conditions for our cameraman up there either. Rodaway. Moore. Windridge is well forward in the middle. Rodaway. Well, that was Pollard on Stewart. Been given penalty. Poor Brian Pollard, playing against his old club. His attempted clearance led to the third goal, and now he's given away a penalty, which could lead to the fourth. Pollard stretching to tackle Paul Stewart from behind, brought him down, and it's a penalty to Blackpool, to be taken presumably by their captain Hetsky, who's been the penalty taker this season. And he blasts this one high and wide. Well, certainly put plenty of power into it, but it was some way away. So 3 goals and a missed penalty in a very entertaining 4th division match. Here's Byrne. But York is still working at it. Walwyn with a chance here. Greenall came over with the header. Walwyn still battling, and Pearce forced to make a sharp save. he's played well, actually, Steve Hetsky, but the last few minutes he won't want to remember. And there's going to be a Blackpool substitution. The man coming off is Paul Stewart, and the man coming on is John Deary. Crosby. Walwyn. Byrne. Looking for Pollard. Here's Hay, and now it's Hood, and it's played in for Byrne and for Ford. Up goes Britton and Mercer. And over comes Hetsky. That was Byrne again. And York City's first league defeat since the 12th of November and their heaviest of the season. A fine performance by Blackpool, with the two full-backs figuring. David Moore with his first goal for the club, Blackpool's third on the day. Mike Walsh on his debut had a hand in that, and York City, the leaders, were frankly never in the match. Blackpool even managed to miss a penalty as they ran out comprehensive winners here at Bloomfield Road by 3-0.
No arguing about that result. Blackpool very determined indeed. But I did appreciate how York City are where they are. Although overwhelmed on the day, they kept trying to play the football that has rewarded them so far. Bob.
Speculation that Britain's most famous club, Manchester United, will soon become Maxwell United increased today when chairman Martin Edwards admitted for the first time that a takeover bid was a possibility, and Oxford United chairman Robert Maxwell would still appear to be the main contender. Before today's goalless draw against Norwich, Mr. Edwards said, "Obviously there is something happening at the club, but so far nothing has arrived on my desk." United's Ray Wilkins insisted that the takeover talk had not affected the players, but those drop points against Norwich cost them the chance of closing up on leaders Liverpool, who were also held to a goalless draw at Sunderland. So the gap at the top remains 5 points, and although United have a game in hand, they are themselves now only a point ahead of West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Forest, in fact, came within seconds of a victory over Spurs that would have put them second in the table when Chris Hughton scored to make it 2-2. West Ham manager John Lyall, without 9 first-team men today through injury, praised his young players after their 3-0 win over Stoke. Said Lyall, "Our youth policy, always a tradition here, is paying dividends." Steve Moran's 9th goal in 7 games gave Southampton 3 points at Wolves, and Ian Stewart put Queen's Park Rangers on the way to a 2-0 win at Arsenal. Skipper Terry Fenwick clinched it 11 minutes from the end. Yet Arsenal manager Don Howe said, "That's the best we've played since I've been in charge. It's just a matter of finishing." And to that end, Arsenal had yet another look today at England striker Paul Mariner, who scored the first and made the second for Ipswich in their 3-1 win over Coventry. The third goal was right out of a schoolboy's comic strip, with 16-year-old Jason Dazelle the scorer after making his debut as substitute. Jason's the youngest player to appear in the First Division for 20 years. He was in good goal-scoring company today. Adrian Heath got a hat-trick for Everton. Kerry Dixon scored twice for Second Division leaders Chelsea, as did Kevin Keegan and Peter Beardsley for Newcastle. Alan Cork and Dean Thomas did the same as Third Division Wimbledon hit 6, but the top marksman was Aldershot's Glenn Burville with 4 of the 7 against Mansfield. A look at the promotion situation in the lower divisions shows Chelsea 2 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday in Division 2. Wednesday held today to a goalless draw at Blackburn. Manchester City are joined on 48 points by Newcastle but stay third on goal difference. In the third division, no change in position amongst the top 3 clubs, who all won this afternoon. And no change at the top of 4 either, despite York's defeat at Blackpool. Bristol City, the only team in the top 4 to win, consolidate their position in third place with a 1-0 victory over Hereford. More action now as Scottish Premier Division leaders Aberdeen take on second place Celtic at Pittordry. Archie McPherson is your commentator.
Loud shouts of Dougie. That's a lovely little flick on by McGee. Strachan reading it well. Cross ought to have been better. Weir with it. Brilliantly in. 1-0 Hewitt. A superb goal.
And thanks to that goal, Aberdeen extend their lead over Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premier Division to 6 points. Well, after 2 weeks' activity, the Pools panel were back on the subs bench today, and all the 9 score draws actually happened. So check your coupons carefully, because the dividend forecast is very good. If you've got 24 points, claim by telephone, and here are the numbers you need: 7, 16, 27, 35, 36, 37, 39, 43 and 45. Finally, a bonus as Italy's World Cup hero Paolo Rossi shows he's rediscovered his goal touch with a hat-trick in today's 5-0 friendly win in Rome against the 1986 World Cup hosts Mexico. Italy in the white shorts were already ahead through Banyu when Rossi got the first of his 3 with a really cheeky piece of opportunism. Then, after 37 minutes, a magnificent long pass from defence found Altobelli on the left, and his tricky run and accurate cross was turned in by the perfectly positioned Rossi. That made it 3-0 to Italy, with 2 for Rossi so far, and almost on the half-time whistle he completes his hat-trick. Cabrini's run and cross this time, Ferreira fumbles, and there's golden boy Paolo making it 4-0 to Italy, a scoreline that became 5-0 in the second half with Bruno Conti, the scorer.
Well, time now for the result of our January Goal of the Month competition, and I'll tell you the winner in a moment, but first the winning order chosen by our panel. It was EGC, so the Goal of the Month was scored by Ian Rush for Liverpool against Aston Villa.
And Liverpool have got a player over here in this attack. This is Souness. And Nicol is the man coming in for the header. And Rush was on the far side. Oh, what a tremendous shot.
Well, the first postcard pulled out of the sack with the correct winning order was sent in by Mr. J. Rayson of 164 Varley Street, Miles Platting, Manchester. Well done, Mr. Rayson. £100 of the premium bonds are on their way to you. Well, that's all for tonight, except to tell you that England are 82 all out against New Zealand in Christchurch and will now follow on. Well, we're pleased to have been able to bring you 2 splendid games from the lower divisions. We'll be back at 10:40 next Saturday evening. And just to finish, once in a while, brothers appear on Match of the Day in separate teams, such as the Charltons, the Clarks and the Hibberts. Today it was the Moors. David Moore on the left scored a brilliant goal to clinch 3 points for Blackpool, and Kevin helped to keep Grimsby and the Moore family unbeaten on the day. Not a bad afternoon's work for a couple of reliable defenders. Well done both. Good night.
Here's Stewart. And Pollard up to clear only as far as Moore. Oh, what a fine goal. It's David Moore's first for Blackpool.